Welcome to Fireside Nets with Spen and Nick, brought to you by Empire Sports Media. I am your host, Spen, and no, next to me is not Nick. I'm actually joined by my co-host on I call it our sister podcast, 2 hours, no traffic, Philly, Brandon, diehard 76ers, Eagles, Phillies since they fired Girardi fan. First time on Fireside Nets, which is crazy to think about because you and I have been doing our other podcast for a while now, but welcome on the show. We are going to react live to this finals game 4 between the Warriors and the Boston Celtics. How are you doing tonight, man? Are you excited to watch this game?
Yeah, this is the first game I've gotten to, I guess watch in somewhat of its entirety. I talk to Spence all the time, and my day usually starts around 6. So this whole West Coast 9 p.m. start thing, I'm not a big fan. I think it's bullshit. The best sports markets are on the East Coast. I don't know why we're pandering to casual fans out West, but, that's just me.
Steph Curry just did his patented run down the court to the basket, slow down, and sort of give it one of those linemen pushes you see an O lineman or a D lineman do. I think that's awesome. We're about to tip off here in San Francisco. Yeah, happy you can join me. Happy you're finally watching a game. I feel like after every single game, I just text you did you see that? And you don't answer because you're sleeping. And then the next morning, you're just like, yeah, man, I had to be up at 5:30. So no,
I've seen the first quarter of every game.
There you go. That's something.
For what it's worth. Since we're just kind of going through literally what's going on. We talked about on our other show, but I'm interested to hear, obviously your perspective, and then we're getting a different audience. Stars on our teams like Embiid, KD, Kyrie, etc. You get that microscopic criticism where you can be great, but if you're not great enough, that's not good enough. And Jason Tatum, by all accounts, has not had a superstar series. I mean, he's been a little bit shaky with the ball. I think he had a ton of turnovers this series. I have to look at the stat, but he's up there in top 5 turnovers all time in the finals thus far. And the entry graphic was, how many assists he has.
Right.
It's great. It's just the coverage is just so different for some reason I can't put my finger on.
You think they're a little bit softer on Tatum?
I think they're much softer.
So it's because he's not in that caliber. That's why. It's for Tatum's tier, as Jaylen Brown hits a really tough 2 to tie the game, 2 apiece. Otto Porter Jr. hit the first bucket for Golden State. Tatum is in that second, third tier of great players. He's not in that first tier with the KDs, the Stephs. Who else is in that? I mean, Embiid's in that top tier now. Giannis is in that tier. When Kawhi is healthy, Kawhi is in that tier. But I don't, Tatum is in that next tier, right? I think Tatum and Kyrie Irving at this point in Kyrie's career are sort of in that second tier where they're both elite, but I can't call those guys top 5 players in the game. I just can't.
Which I'm fine with, and I agree 100. I agree with you 100%. It's the if he has 25 points on a mildly efficient evening, he's got a picture in Kobe Bryant's locker holding the trophy, as the second coming. And then if he has a bad night, it's, he had a lot of assists. You got to give me one or the other. You're either in that breath where you're talking about the next big guy, or you're not.
I agree. But I also don't, I think even Celtics fans will tell you, they're not happy with the way Tatum's played.
No, he has I'm way behind you. I'm not even going to try and do play-by-play.
Yeah, don't even try to do play-by-play.
It hasn't even been a sharp start handling the ball tonight.
You're good. I got the play-by-play. It's 6-4 Warriors. 9 minutes and 30 seconds. Here. Yeah, I figured.
I did just get the government subsidized Wi-Fi though.
Yo, congratulations on that. That's big.
I had the bargain basement one for so long. I got an email from Xfinity saying that they had there's some kind of grant they're sending me to upgrade the Wi-Fi.
That's huge, man. I like that a lot. You and I were talking about before we started recording the movie Hustle. Recently came out on Netflix. Adam Sandler is the star in that movie. He finds a young talent in Spain as a scout who's played by NBA player Juancho Hernan Gomez. And it's one of these like feel good, come from nothing basketball stories. It's half about Juancho Hernangomez, half about Adam Sandler. Really well done. A lot of cool NBA cameos. I liked it. I did. But my problem is this: it was hyped up so much, Brandon, that when I saw it, I was expecting like the Godfather of basketball movies, and it was good.
Even when I told you about it, though, I likened it to Coach Carter. You knew the whole time you're watching Coach Carter. It was that origin story. It was that hero story. I mean, granted they lost in the championship, but like you knew those kids were going to be good. Like it can be cliche and still be great.
Yes, that you're absolutely right. For some reason, I wasn't expecting super cliche.
He just did that arc, I thought, perfectly. Like, I mean, if you're going to do
something, he's also
coming
off. Sandler's also coming off Uncut Gems, which was one of the most wildly unpredictable movies I've ever seen in my life, and it literally caused me anxiety. So, like, in a weird, messed up way, this movie was the complete opposite of that. You know what I'm saying?
Which I think is why I liked it. I'm one of the few people I didn't enjoy Uncut Gems. I didn't think it was it was a really technically good movie. I did not enjoy seeing it. I've only seen it one time.
You didn't enjoy Uncut Gems.
Yeah, I mean,
I miss when that was cool.
Oh,
I miss when that was cool. It's 10-4. Golden State.
I just thought it was awesome how and thinking that whole movie, there was maybe 5 actors, and I might be high. Like, it was almost all NBA guys, which is really hard to do, to get the licensing rights. And, I know LeBron had a big hand in that.
That was pretty sick. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, of course, LeBron produced it alongside Sandler. And one of the big things I took away from this, Clay for 3, brick, 10-4, Golden State, a little less than 8 minutes left in the first. So far, kind of back and forth. Warriors have made a few shots. Celtics are really cold. 2 of 6 to start. Warriors are 5 of 8. No team has made a 3-point field goal yet. What was I going to say about Sandler? Oh, this just reunited my whole thing where I just really want to play Adam Sandler one-on-one. Because a lot of what came from this movie is like, oh, Sandler can hoop. He can watch him play. He's a player. Draymond to the rack for 2. Draymond's got 4 quick points. The slam dunk by Draymond to make it 12-4 timeout Boston. Wow. Okay. All right. Holy smokes. That's the start for the Warriors. But I don't know. That was a good start for them. 12-4 timeout Boston.
I don't think you really do want the smoke from Adam Sandler. I mean, he's had numerous NBA players back up his abilities.
These guys haven't seen me play, Brandon. You saw me play. You know I have a jumper. That's the thing.
Look, I know you beat up on the AAU Jewish crowd at the public parks. I'm just saying this guy might be
I beat up on the people that train them. Get it right. And I beat up on them too. But I beat up on the people that train them.
I mean, I'd pay to see it. I think it would be interesting. But, I mean, I feel like his DMs are full of, collegiate athletes looking to get a little run.
No, but they want to play with him. They don't want to, challenge him. No one, okay. No one is more well-liked and recognized in Hollywood and in sports than Adam Sandler. Like, Adam Sandler can walk on SportsCenter tomorrow and it'd be the fucking most viewed episode of SportsCenter the entire year. Okay, no one wants to see the same 3 or 4 dudes on SportsCenter or Get Up or whatever the fucking hot show is on ESPN. But if you put Sandler on there, yeah, I'm watching. He's the man. He's likable. But someone has to, challenge the likable guy in a game of basketball. And I'm that guy. I might not be as funny as him, as rich as him, as handsome as him, as charming as him. But I think my jumper is wetter than his.
I don't know, dude. He's got that corner, that grown-ups corner jumper.
Here's the other thing. I always only see the same 4 or 5 highlights. It's like, watch this layup, watch this jump shot. He passed to a dude. End of highlight.
All right. I mean, what it sounds like we got to do is we got to put together the Spence, hoop mixtape and challenge Sandler to drop one of his own.
That would be nice. That would absolutely be nice. All right. So the cool thing about the movie, back to the movie Hustle, is that it was about Philadelphia, about the Sixers. How did you feel the Sixers were depicted in the movie? Obviously, it's a fictional movie, but I don't know, were you getting weird? I don't know. I I never saw the movie. I think it's called Just Right, when Common played for the Nets, and ironically, Queen Latifah was in that movie too. But I never watched that movie. I always felt weird watching it because, like, I'm a Nets fan. So, like, how did you feel seeing the Sixers? And follow-up question to that: were you surprised Joel Embiid wasn't in the movie?
So I mean, the Sixers I thought looked bad. Like, I mean, their owner's kind of a dick. Like, I don't think our ownership group with Josh Harris and Comcast and God, I always forget the Ruben. I don't think they're horrible people. I mean, people do want to come play for the Sixers. So I thought that was a little misrepresented. The players I thought came off fine. Like, Tobias was Tobias. He wasn't asked to do a whole lot. I don't know why Matisse and Kyle Lowry are all of a sudden best friends. I don't think that exists in the real world. I'm pretty sure they've had their run-ins on the court, actually. And then no one would let Tyrese Maxey speak. He was just, I mean, he was in the background of several shots, but that's about it. And I wasn't surprised to see Embiid not in it. One, I mean, that budget on that movie had to be enormous already. An Embiid cameo would not help matters. And it just didn't seem like his kind of thing. Like, you know, when he's not playing basketball, he doesn't do anything. Like, anyone who knows Joel Embiid, he sits home, he plays video games, and hangs out with his son. That is it. So I didn't expect to see him in it. But it was kind of cool. Like, I mean, I didn't see Just Right either, but it was kind of neat watching the Sixers from that perspective. I thought Adam Sandler did an awesome job covering the city. Like, all the murals, like, he got the ones people know about, the ones people don't. I thought the Geno's scene was unnecessary. I mean, if you're going to be authentic, like, just go the whole distance, dude. Just go to one of the neighborhood joints or something. But, you know, other than that, I thought he did a good job capturing Philly.
Okay. I mean, you heard it from someone who lives around there. Philly Brandon liked hustle. Let's get to
I was just there. Fun fact. I was just there with my buddy. He lives in Manayunk. And the steps at the end of, like, that Rocky scene going up the hill, and then there's those steps at the end. That is where all the bars are, and those steps will bring, like, the most fit man to their knees, especially after the night of drinking. I've had to sit down halfway up and catch my breath.
The other thing that's so funny about this is, like, where does Juancho Hernangomez play now?
Dude, I don't know. I thought he was great in the movie, but I don't know what his professional career looks like.
Yeah, bro. He's been on like 4 or 5 different teams, and he's only been in the league for 5 or 6 years. It's kind of bizarre.
Is he like the former wait, was it Willie Hernangomez, or is this just like?
Yeah, that's his brother, or is his brother.
He's stuck
Willie
around
Hernangomez.
isn't he?
He was on the Knicks for a minute. I don't know.
Oh,
just
okay,
like,
now he's back in Spain.
Very good casting. Loved it. Just was you know, I don't know. It was funny that
both
he's been
play
in
in
the NBA.
Spain.
Okay, cool.
He was last
so,
year for the Jazz.
Okay. I want to get to the actual Sixers. So, like, headed into next season, you guys went one more round than we did. You lost to the Miami Heat in 6 games?
Yeah, and an embarrassing 6.
So, you know, you go to the offseason, you got to make a decision about James Harden. You need to figure out what you're going to add alongside Maxey and Embiid. You got a few question marks. So what are you kind of feeling headed into this offseason?
Not a lot of hope, honestly.
Okay.
I think we're limited to what we can do. You know, you're never going to move Tyrese. Nobody wants to. But you're not going to get, you know, an impactful role player or a star for Matisse. And we have no picks. You have all those. Furkan's not going to get you anything. Same with Shake. We still have a question mark at center. They talked about bringing Andre Drummond back, but he seems completely unwilling to be a backup, which justifiably so. He's too good, in my opinion. So we're kind of stuck. We can make some little moves on the margins. I keep seeing different names come up here and there. But nobody's going to move the needle. I still think we're a second-round team. It's frustrating. It sucks. But the team as constructed just isn't good enough. I mean, I watched the rest of the East. We couldn't hang. I don't think the Nets could hang either.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. By the way, Clay hit a 3, first 3 of the game. I think for either team, the score is 17-6. So the Warriors are giving it to Boston early. Clay's got 5. Draymond's got 4. Steph hit a layup. I think Wiggins has a bucket. And now Gary Payton II has come into the game. So has Grant Williams. Warriors are dominating early on. Yeah, the thing that I'm intrigued about with the Nets is just to see what Simmons looks like, right? Like when Sean Marks made that trade, as annoying as it was for fans, because we all live in the moment, and rightfully so. Like we're only on this earth for so long. We want to see our sports teams succeed in the time in as short a time as possible. So when they made that trade, and some Nets fans were thinking we're not going to see Ben Simmons until next year, it was an annoying thought process. And the way it worked, everything with the updates, and maybe he was going to play in the playoffs, then he wasn't going to play, and the whole thing was just sketchy. I just want to see what he looks like in a Nets uniform, because if he's good with KD and Kyrie, then that makes this trade that we did with Harden all worth it.
No, I mean, I agree. It is, you're putting all your eggs in the Ben Simmons basket. And I've been there and done that myself. And it's, when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's really, really bad. The difference with you guys is you don't really need him to be good. You just need him to do the things he's already good at. He can play defense no matter what. He does see the floor at an elite level from a passing side of things. So, I mean,
right,
you're the only team that I think he can flourish on. Will he is the question. How deep in his head is he? How is he going to be received in Brooklyn after all the waiting? So those are the biggest variables. But I mean, if he gets on the court and he's able to just play defense and pass, that's what he's good at.
Let me ask you a crazy question. I was thinking about this, and I'm surprised people haven't brought this up. Imagine if the trade never goes through and James Harden stays with the Nets and you guys keep Seth Curry and Andre Drummond. Do you think that both teams are better off when the playoffs come around?
I don't. The Sixers losing Andre Drummond killed us. That was the nail in the coffin. We had no answer. But we also didn't have a secondary ball handler. Like we just didn't. Asking Seth Curry to do it wasn't fair. Furkan wasn't it. And we just didn't have any other options. Shake Milton wasn't it. So we had to do it. We'd have been a first-round exit without James Harden. What I will say to that point is I think there were cheaper targets. If you just wanted to go get a point guard and you thought that's all we needed, you didn't have to go get the most expensive point guard on the market. That's something that kind of haunts me a little bit. I'm still, to the day I die, I'm a big fan of the Tyrese Halliburton package they were going to send us. Because we were Simmons for Halliburton and picks. I am in. Count me in for that. I thought we let that one get away.
Do you believe James Harden when he says he's going to get his body right in the offseason?
No, but I don't have an option at this point. I mean, for one more year at least, I need him to be great, and me rooting against him does me no good. But do I think he's going to come back in great shape? Absolutely not, no.
Yeah, you're probably right in that assumption.
He never has.
As far as Nets news goes, it was a cool video of Nick Claxton working on his post moves. I think I'm not sure if it's official. I don't know if you can make it official, but I believe that the Nets are most likely going to pick up his deal. So I think it's going to be like 2-3 years, $30 million, $31 million. He'll get a nice little payday, Nick Claxton. And there are also videos of him working on his free throws because he did not hit any free throws in that series against Boston. Now that I've had some time to reflect on the whole season for the Brooklyn Nets, it sucked. We should have been a lot better this year. We should have at least been competitive in that Boston series, even after the heartbreaker in Game 1. I'm excited for next season. I think this team has a lot to build on. They're gonna bring back Nash. They're gonna give it another go. They're obviously gonna bring back Kyrie somehow, whatever that deal looks like. And you have to be positive if you're a Nets fan. I think exchanging an older, sort of lesser, fatter version of James Harden for this young, looking for a second chance Ben Simmons. How he's going to play, I don't know. But as you said, we're not asking him to do the world. Just to be the third or fourth guy on the team. They're going to bring back some pieces. I'd really like to see Seth Curry back. I thought he was phenomenal. Joe Harris is coming back from injury, so you have that luxury. If you can get those two shooters on the same team, I mean, with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, like that's insane to me. There's a lot to be excited for if you're a Nets fan. But number one is if you're a Nets fan, you want the Warriors to win this series. You don't want Boston, the team that Kevin Durant has. Let's face it, he's trolled in the past few years.
Yeah.
Whether it was last season in the playoffs, he was, clowning Evan Fournier, or after the Olympics, there was that moment where he's trash talking to Ime Udoka. I know it was friendly. I get it, but he's like, oh, we're going to beat you guys this season. It's a joke. And then you get swept in the playoffs. A joke becomes a sweep. So, I think
his mouth is writing checks that the Nets can't cash.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be extremely fun to watch. Is him coming back, motivated? All these guys, and they're going to give it another go, a third go around. So hopefully this time it works. 3 minutes 45 seconds left in the first quarter. Clay with the ball. He's going to kick it to Gary Payton the second for three. Nails it. 20-8. Golden State is up. They are playing some really good basketball to start this game.
So the website Clutch Points has 4 targets that they think the Nets need to go after this offseason. While we got a little bit of a break in the fun action because, Golden State's kind of taking care of business right now, I'm going to run through the 4 of them and I want to know, A, your likelihood of it happening, and B, how you'd feel if it did.
Okay.
So the number 1 target, according to them, needs to be Chris Boucher from Toronto. He would take care of your big man issues.
Can he shoot the three? Like, I don't know his 3-point field goal percentage off the bat.
34%.
I don't necessarily hate it, but it's not like give me,
Yeah.
Like I'd be like a 4-5 excitement out of 10.
Okay.
He's not bad, but like he was also a backup. Like, come on.
What about the troll Markieff Morris?
Would love him. Would absolutely love him. You get a Morris brother. They kind of have very similar games. They space the floor. They can hit the three. Marcus is a little better in isolation situations. He can get you a bucket. I think Markieff is a better defender, but they're both solid. So which brother would we be receiving in this transaction? Markieff. Yeah, I like him.
And he's coming off a pretty rough year. He only played 20 games. So you can probably get him on the low.
By the way, Gary Payton II with 5 points already in the first quarter. He's huge, man. Having him helps them a lot.
Having him back in the finals is a complete series changer. Because the
Warriors
ratchet up their defense in the finals anyway. Because they're not usually a great defensive team during the year, but I mean he's a
they really do.
They
really do. Yeah, they're suffocating the Celtics right now. Jason Tatum has yet to score.
I just don't know if the Celtics have enough, and we thought that when they first got here. I mean, if the Celtics were going to win the finals, they needed to suffocate Golden State and not the other way around, and that's just not the way it's going. I mean, again,
all right, what's the third Nets deal?
Austin Rivers.
No.
I guess that would be in a world where Bruce Brown doesn't come back and need another ball handler.
Yeah, that would be like, yeah, exactly. If you can't afford Bruce Brown, I guess I don't love Austin Rivers. I don't love his game. He's a combo scoring guard who isn't a great shooter, and he's whatever. He's not my favorite player in the world.
This is one I think if you could pull off would be huge, especially if Bruce Brown's able to come back. But the last one is Caleb Martin.
Oh, I like Caleb Martin. He was on the Heat.
No, I think he was where the hell did he come from? I don't think was he Heat? No.
Yeah, because there's Cody Martin and Caleb Martin. Look him up. Tell me. And by the way, Steph.
I have all of his stats on his website. It's not where he's from.
24-8 Golden State. Oh my goodness, this is just dominating. And I know the Celtics are going to go on.
Yeah, you're right. Miami
This game is Miami Heat. Yeah, he actually said he wanted to be back in Miami as Tatum gets his first bucket. He was at a press conference, so if they sign him, bad miss. Yeah, Miami might re-sign him, but I would love him. Him and Morris, I would like. I mean, Boucher would be and don't give me Austin Rivers. But those are 4 interesting scenarios there.
I think a couple of them really do make you guys better. I think getting Caleb Martin would be huge. I mean, like you guys just need more wings outside of your 2 stars. So I mean, 6'6", decent enough shooter. Really good defender. I mean, he and Bruce Brown together on the floor would be suffocating for other teams.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot. Sean Marks can be very creative in this offseason. But whatever he does, he's got to make it work as Wiggins nails a step back. Tatum had 4 straight points. He was starting to feel it. Wiggins hits the step back, 26-12. Warriors are keeping their distance with about 1:19 left in the first. Oh, man, when the Warriors are on, bro. But I'm telling you, like, that's the thing. Tatum's a microwave. He can get going. Brown can get going. And they have the defense to get stops against Golden State. So this game is far from over. Very good start for Golden State. But
if they can get on a run, I agree. But
Tatum another bucket. That's 6 straight for Jason Tatum.
Oh, maybe that's that microwave effect you were just talking about.
Yeah, that was a nice cut. And of course, Andre Iguodala's in the game. I don't understand why Nash feels the need to play him. Kerr. Yeah, I said Nash. Wow, it's a Freudian slip right there.
It's just one of his guys. Like, I mean, does he have? He's got to be what, 37?
Who are you talking about, Iguodala?
Yeah, I mean he's
up there. But every time he plays, I feel like the Celtics go on a ridiculous run.
Because he's not the defender he used to be. He used to be a number 1 lockdown defender. That was 5-6 seasons ago.
Celtics are on a not a run, but they're down 10 with 30 seconds left. They got the ball, so they're not going to go 2 for 1. They have yet to hit a 3. They're 0-4 from 3, and Golden State's 2 of 9. So these two teams like to shoot the tray ball, but both of them not finding too much success.
How good has the Andrew Wiggins resurgence been with Golden State?
Oh, he's been great, dude. He has been so much just better and playing harder and playing to his ability, and it's been great to watch, man. He's been awesome. Steph. Oh, how is that not a foul? Oh, I thought Steph got whacked on that play. Steph went to the rim and basically, like, it was underneath the rim. Robert Williams was not letting him get a shot off. Let's see what he does here. Williams going to go straight up. That's a good no call. It looked like a foul in fast motion, but let's see. Does Williams come down on his arm? No, that was clean. Oof, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so into this game, man. And just, Golden State, Boston, it's been a good series so far. Now, I'll say this. If the Warriors were to win this game, I think Game 6 can easily go to Boston. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can see this series going 7. I don't think that Golden State winning right now, like, this series is over. As Ime Udoka gets a technical, they called a foul with 0.5 seconds left on the Celtics. They called a foul as Andrew Wiggins caught the ball and was shooting. Udoka got mad. He was screaming at the refs. He got a technical. Let's see this replay. So Wiggins gets the ball. There's the foul. He fouled him. He fouled him with 0.5 seconds left. And I don't know why they're so mad.
See, I think the other way. I think if Golden State wins this one, they're too close. I think it's over in 6 if Golden State wins this one.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Interesting. But in the Garden? You think they just take it in the Garden?
Yeah. I think there is something to be said for this team being in the finals year after year after year, having that brief break. Clay was gone. Steph was in and out. Draymond was in and out. Like, if you let them get close to a trophy, they're going to make it happen that same day.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the logic. They're clutch. They've been here before. Do you have any idea of what the Sixers are looking to do this offseason?
Well, I don't think we're going to bring in another backup big man. I think they're planning on letting it ride with B-Ball Paul and just developing him, which I'm finally on board with. But I don't really know.
I see that they're looking to shop Danny Green and the number 23 pick in the NBA draft,
which sucks. I mean, I get it. Like, you have to, but
he was bad. He was not good.
He wasn't. It's just, he's been good to Philly, and it sucks that, they can somebody as soon as they get hurt, but they have to do it. I get that. It's just a rough look for the team, but it is what it is. I don't know. I've heard too many names to narrow it down to like a top 4 or 5, like the Nets had. Like we've been linked to, there's Josh Richardson was the one that makes no sense to me because we've done this already. Like he was part of that super failed team with like the Al Horford year. He was here for that, and he was wildly, inconsistent. So the fact that's going to work now makes no sense. I've heard Royce O'Neal as like a 3-and-D guy. I think he's a little bit too limited to really move the needle that much. Gary Harris, interesting.
I hear his name associated with every team, Gary Harris. I just feel like he's one of those guys.
Because everybody needs like a capable shooter. He's 39% from deep. He can handle the ball enough to get by. Someone brought up Josh Hart. We're not getting Josh Hart. He's way out of our price range and our asset range. So there's no way that's going to happen. The one I wouldn't mind is Dante DiVincenzo.
Bring him back. Bring him back to Philly.
Yeah, I mean, he and Tyus Jones were two free agents that I'd be pretty content with bringing in, just for more scoring and more ball handling. The thing about Dante is he gives you that defense that you could tell we seriously were lacking down the stretch. Matisse Thybulle gambles too much. James Harden's not really interested. Tobias gave it his all. We needed another stopper, I guess is my point. And Dante can give you enough shooting, but he's a great defensive stopper on the perimeter.
All right. Those are some
I'd be stoked if we were able to bring in him and Tyus Jones and call it an offseason.
I like those fits. I feel like you guys are so solid in that point guard department with either Maxey or Harden running the point that, like, at this point you kind of just need the wingmen, the guards, the forwards, those types of players. And as I've said, on numerous podcasts, the Nets need to bring in some 3-and-D guys. That's something that's been lacking. So I don't even care if their 3-point field goal percentage isn't great. It just needs to be better than DeAndre Bembry's or better than, they don't have to be as good as Joe Harris and Seth Curry, but I don't want them to stink at shooting. But I'm talking about like the Torrey Craigs of the world, like these hard grind out players. It can be your 8th or 9th guy. The Nets need these guys. They did not have any on their roster. And when the Celtics got physical with them, the Nets folded very quickly. You need more physical players on this team. And James Johnson, it was a nice experiment. You cut him before the playoffs. So that didn't work out. The most physical player on the
about
team,
a 6'7" streaky Turkish man
by the name of
Furkan Korkmaz.
Nah, I'm good.
He's out there.
Not a defender.
No, you're right. Not even interested.
No. Our most physical player is Nick Claxton, and he doesn't weigh a lot. So if there's a bigger guy, he gets pushed around a little bit, and he couldn't shoot free throws.
That's for Marquise Morris would be kind of nice. You'd have a bully.
He'd be great. Our second most physical player was Patty Mills, and you can't have your point guard being your most physical player.
No.
So we'll see. A lot of decisions for Sean Marks and Daryl Morey. I was actually shocked that Doc Rivers was in Hustle. That was because I know he's so hated in Philadelphia right now, and that was bizarre to see. Stanley, you ready? Let's go, Stanley. Come on, let's get out there. I don't want to give anything away. Doc Rivers says, let's go Stanley to Adam Sandler. I'm not going to tell you when it happens.
Yeah, fortunately, Adam's not from Philly. Because if a local guy made that, Doc wouldn't have been in it. But that's one of the things I liked about the movie, though, was the attention to detail. Even the assistant coaches, all the way down to Dave Yeager, who didn't spend most of the season with us, was in that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, Brandon, I appreciate you hanging out tonight. End of the first quarter. It's 27 Golden State, 16 Boston. I'm not going to keep you around for the second quarter because the commercial breaks, I sort of overestimated how long NBA games are. But I appreciate you coming on tonight. This was fun. Any final words for the listeners before I close it out?
Oh, I thought you were going to hang on and do the single man play-by-play, but no words. I'm going to try and watch another 15, 20 minutes of this, and I'm sure I'll miss, some transcendent moment, but that's just the way she goes.
I feel you. And for those listening, I am going to do a post-game reaction. Once this game is over, I'll finish up the pod. I'll come back on. I'll do a quick 5-10 minute reaction because the score is 27-16. This game's far from over. So thank you guys for listening. Brandon, thank you for coming by, and stay tuned for the next part of Fireside Nets with Spen and Nick.